And again, it's time for English. And my next idea about English is to create sentences when I talk the whole idea at once. Like, mm, there is a way to speak English when you think some idea in Russian and then you translate it into English, and then you say aloud this sentence in English. So you have this intermediate stage when you create in your mind your Russian sentence, and later, when you progress in English, you can omit this intermediate state of creating Russian sentence and just go creating the English sentence from the idea in your mind. And now I try to create the English sentence just from my mind, from the idea in my mind, without creating this intermediate step. That's why I can only think 2-3 words in advance, or maybe a couple of structures in advance, and I can think for the whole sentence in advance. Yeah. And my current idea is to maybe think in my mind about the whole idea, about the way I want this idea to end, before telling this idea aloud in English. Maybe this will help, but for the time being, I think I will be more. I'll make some pauses between sentences because I need to think of the end of the idea. In Russian, it's alright. I kind of start thinking about the idea itself without its end, and I just speak about this topic, about this idea, and that's alright because I can add some information in the process of speaking the information. But for English, it's kind of difficult, and yeah, my current task is to create the whole sentence with the necessary words, and these words can be substitutes for the correct words I need to use in this sentence. But now I'm going to think about the content, about the form of the idea, and this form will consist of different substitutes like this thing, do some action to this place, for the places, for the words where something like let's say the knife, cut meat, or in the kitchen must be used. And this way I will practice to use the whole form, and later I'll switch to using the idea, and maybe this way I'll teach myself to speak the whole sentence with some basic words, and then I will teach myself to add specific words into this sentence. But this way I will be able to use the whole sentence, not just let's say not just the subject and the object, and then make a pause and think about the place and the time for the sentence. It's kind of hard for me to speak today, I I I have a tendency to yawn all the time. I don't know, maybe this is the beginning of the topic and I'm too tense about this stuff as I usually do, and later when I start talking for 15 minutes and longer, I start feeling more relaxed, and my speech starts to be more fluent without these pauses, without this here. Maybe I shouldn't record the video today because I'm kind of tired of the actions of the work I did today, but I think I should be able to perform my English in each state of my mind and in each state of my body, because I can speak Russian in every state, in every situation, yeah, without being tired. No, without connections to being tired or being full of strength, being kind of sad or being happy. I can speak Russian everywhere and every time, and maybe I should be able to speak English the same way in each situation. Okay, the first topic I think I'll discuss today is about T-ara, K-pop girls band. This band was active, I think, since 2008 to 2017, and it's at its peak of performance and success in 2020, maybe 2012 or 2013, and when they were at this moment, they were the most successful Japanese K-pop girls band in the Korean history. There were 7 girls, and at the time the news appeared that one of the girls was the victim of bullying, and the photos were where she took a wheelchair, and she got some bandage on her leg, and there was lots of news about this, and at some point, and all other members of T-ara band were accused of bullying this girl, and later the agency that was responsible for T-ara, the agency ended the contract with this as a victim girl, and at this point fans of T-ara said to boycott. I don't know. Stop. They said to stop attending T-ara's concerts. They didn't bought T-ara's discs. They even destroyed these discs publicly, and it was a huge blow on the T-ara's reputation and success, and the rest of the girls were in great stress, but they continued to perform the songs they performed before, and they continued to train the performances of the new songs, and sometime later, the fans kind of changed their opinion. Well, they just forgave give forgave the girls, and um, uh, the fans continued to attend the concert, but T-ara never reached the same peak of popularity and success that they were at the time of this crisis, of this scandal. And yeah, there was six girls, and they made quite successful songs. And one of my favorite songs is number five. Number nine. Number nine. I like the music video for this song, and I like the uh, live live concerts with this song. Yeah, and they created other songs. And later in 2017, the contract expired with the agency, and the band, the T-ara, was disbanded. And at this moment, somewhere like a year later, that girl who was the victim of bullying, she had she had a twin sister, and these two twins participated in some live TV show when they kind of went they took the taxi, and there were cameras in the taxi, and it was a part of the living show. And these two twins discussed this moment of bullying 5 years ago, and they brought these facts back, accident back. And at this point, because the T-ara was disbanded, the members of the staff, like, I don't know, who are the staff of girls' bands, maybe, I can't really say, those who responsible for creating the images, to dress them, to make the hairs, to put makeup on the faces of the staff. So some of the members of this staff came to some TV shows, and they started to talk about this incident of 5 years ago, and they told their opinion about this particular girl who was the victim of this situation. They talked that this girl was always rude, that she had this star illness. She thought that she's the center of this group. She didn't want to perform to make performance as other girls, and when she had this small injury on her leg, on her foot, she went to the hospital, and she said to the doctor to put a bandage and to give her a wheelchair, so that she could become the star of the news. Yeah, but later the doctors said that she had no injuries to be given this wheelchair and this bandage. And the other girls from T-ara, the girls that stayed with T-ara, they performed even with worse injuries, like one the visual girl who didn't have huge vocal abilities, but she was the most beautiful girl of the group. So she even performed once the concert when she had the broken nose for some reason, and she never complained. She just performed her role as the real idol, K-pop idol. And all these facts started to go to the light, and fans started to search for other clues. Who was the victim in this situation, and who was the bully? And maybe a year later, all agreed that this particular girl was the real bully, and she made herself look as the victim. And with this behavior, she almost destroyed the reputation of T-ara. She destroyed the peak and peak performance and the most successful time when they performed when she was the member of them. So the fans started to hate her, this seventh member, and at some point she even deleted her Instagram account because each fan tried to express his hatred towards her with the comments on her Instagram. And then she participated in some TV shows like Blind Audition when she wore mask and she performed for the judges, and then she took off the mask, and when the judges saw that it was her, and the audience saw that it was this particular girl, they kind of wooed her, and I didn't watch. I didn't watch this particular performance because I didn't want this negative. I didn't want to see this negative reaction, but it was commented in some vloggers who described the whole situation in 2019, 2020, with all the facts that were about this incident in 2020, about this victim and the bullying and so on. And so what? Yeah, and I think later some performance, some of her roles that she had to play, she had to play in the movies, where kind of she was removed from these roles because of this negative reaction from the audience, and because the producers were afraid that this negative reaction will destroy the performances of the movies where she could participate. So eventually she had a huge backslash on her career due to her selfish performance during this 2012 or 13 accident. Yeah, so she get her karma back to her. And what about those girls? One of them, one of the smallest, the shortest girl in the group, get married, and she had the strongest voice in the group, and she was the main vocalist for this group. She got married, and she stopped making any performance. Another short girl somehow moved into other areas of let's say show business, and for the rest of the group, for other girls, they kind of combined. They met together, and in 2022, maybe 23, they performed this kind of T-ara small version, or T-ara comeback, with four of them performing um, old songs, the best hits of T-ara, and they all were kind of kind of old already, about 29 and older, and about the old fans who grew listening to these songs, they liked the comeback anyway. And one of the visual girl married some sportsman, the baseball player in Korea, and the I think the tallest girl of the group, who was the rapper at the time, she mostly performs as actress, and now there is this 120 episode series that is created each day from April to September, and each series contains lasts about 30 minutes. So this rapper girl, she performs in this series as an actress, and it's kind of funny that a couple of years ago I watched all these girls performing, and this particular girl performing when she was only 20 or 26, I think, 10 years ago, and now 2 years later I can watch her in her 36 performing as an actress, and it's kind of interesting to see the way she became older, but really she didn't become so old, and it's almost stayed at the same stage of youth as she was 10 years ago. And well, this is the T-ara, and I think this is what I wanted to tell about this group. And now I understand. Okay. And one last thing is that fans or TV hosts later asked the girls, the producer, why they didn't tell the audience, the fans, that this particular seventh member of the group was the bully, and that she fabricated all this evidence of bullying and of being victim and other stuff, and they just said, the girls just said that they first, no one would have believed them, because the audience had already its opinion, so no one would really have listened to them and to get the facts about this incident at the time. And it was a very stressful, and second, it was a very stressful time for the rest of the girls, and they just wanted to get over this incident and to get over these memories, and they didn't want to go back to these memories even after T-ara was disbanded, because it was not the very pleasant episode of their career. Yeah, that's it. So and now I understand why the producers of different K-pop bands and other stuff, movies in America try to get rid of the player, the actor, the singer who had the bad reputation, because now when I know about all this stuff with the T-ara, um, I don't feel much um, such enjoyment listening to the songs uh, of the um, Yana um, Yana later former later of the first period from the creation of this group until this seventh member was kind of put took out of the band, because I always, when I see seven members of the T-ara, I always remember this episode, and it isn't very funny to remember this stuff, and the whole impression of these cool songs that were created during this time kind of low. The whole impression lowers, decreases, because of this facts with this particular victim bullied girl. Yeah, that's why the producers of different entertainments try to keep the image of the singers and actors at high level, so that the audience could get the amount of like fantasy or enjoyment looking at the actors, and not to think about the difficulties in their lives, because each person has their own difficulties, and the whole entertainment is was made to give to give ordinary people some relaxation and satisfaction and some positive emotions through watching all these songs, movies, and other stuff. So this is what I wanted to say about T-ara, and now I'm going to say some words about Twice. And Twice is another K-pop girls band. It consists of 9 members, of 9 girls, and it was created in 2015, and it still functions. I think a year ago, all 9 girls renewed their contracts with this agency, and I don't know the particular name of the agency, but the agency of Twice, one of the largest K-pop agencies, one of 4 largest K-pop agencies, and the head of this agency, the manager, the head of this agency, created the live show where he chose 9 members of Twice from 16 girls that participated in this show, and he chose them himself because he wanted to create the greatest Korean K-pop girls band. And at some point this band Twice, maybe in 2017, Twice was called the National Treasure officially. So it was this head of the agency, he reached his goal, and Twice had lots of hits each year since 2015, and they were all so popular that they were all played through all Korea, and some ordinary girls who were schoolgirls at the time, they gave the interview a year ago, and they said that they were not the fans of Twice, but they heard all these songs because they were playing through all the radios, through all the I don't know, from every dynamic where the song could be played. So this guy reached his goal of creating the most successful K-pop girl band, but I was introduced to this band only 2 years ago when I started watching K-pop, and Twice was one of the recommendation that was given me by YouTube. And when and I got the thing for Twice when I watched their live dance performance for the Fields. They performed this song in front of a single camera somewhere in the studio. At that moment, I didn't know that there were only 8 of them because one girl was on some hiatus. And later, I watched their live performances since the beginning on stage, since the beginning of the career, like since 2015, and I watched. I can't name all these songs, maybe Signal, Yes or Yes, and other stuff, and I liked really each of these songs, so they really produced hits, but the performances were so difficult that the girls were constantly tired after these performances because the dances, the movements were very difficult in these songs, and I learned this later. So this is about my first encounter with Twice, but YouTube recommended me Twice earlier, and it was the movie clip for Special, but I didn't like, and I don't like it now, the song itself, and I don't like the movie clip. Yeah, I may say that I like the earliest version of Twice. Yeah, with this kind of teen songs. I don't like the new songs with that correspond to them being over 25 years old. Yeah, and that correspond to them moving to the next stage of their performance career within this group. But well, at some point I started to recognize the girls by face. I tried to learn some of the names, but they are not natural to me, so it was alright for me to recognize the faces and to put some performance roles, performance tags on some girls. Like there are 3 Japanese girls and 5 Korean girls and one girl from, I don't remember. I don't want to make a mistake, so yeah, the most beautiful, the longest, the tallest girl of the group, she, and the youngest girl. I think she's the youngest. So she is from some other Asian country, and I don't remember the country, but she is the visual. Her voice abilities is not so cool. And when this head of the agency chose 9 girls, he skipped her. He said that he didn't like her voice abilities, her acting abilities, like dancing or something, but she was the viewer's choice, and they chose her to participate as the member of Twice, and she became the visual of this group. Some of the girls who came into Twice were with this agency for a long time, and they participated in some band that was dismissed some years before the creation of the Twice, and this girl stayed with this agency, and they were the first candidates to go into the new band. And one of them is the leader of this band. She had the strongest, one of the strongest voices in the band, and her face is kind of evil. Evil, I don't know. Angry, maybe angry. I don't know the right word for the Russian equivalent, but when she smiles, her face differs completely, and I liked her as the first girl in Twice when I watched her smile in this live performance of the Feels song, and I recognized her as the member of Twice first. Yeah. Then I started to recognize other members, and I learned that there are 3 members from Japan. One of them, Momo, is a dancer, and she is the best dancer in the group. And during that live something trial, when the head of the agency chose 9 members, he left Momo somewhere in the middle of this trial. He just said that she was the best dancer, but he didn't choose her. And then when all 7 members of the original Twice was chosen, he added 2 more members, this visual girl from some other Asian country that who was chosen by the viewers, and this Momo girl from Japan who was the best dancer. Yeah. And there are other 2 girls from Japan. One is I don't remember their names now. One of them from some royal had some royal blood, because she's a descendant from some royal family in Japan. And another girl, I think, is the former ballerina. She was trained to be ballerina for 5, maybe 10 years, I don't know. Yeah. And there are two girls from Korea who are rappers for this band, and other girls, and one of the girls who I noticed besides the leader girl with the beautiful smile, it was the girl who had quite strong voice. Okay, yeah, there are 2 girls with strong voices, the leader and the girl who usually associated with the rabbit, because she had these 2 front teeth, and when she smiled she looked like the rabbit, and she knew this. But some years ago she changed her teeth. She kind of changed them. She doesn't look as a rabbit now, because I think she targets the solo career, remaining the member of Twice, but she performs some solo songs, and these songs aimed for an audience like America. So she changed her style, her teeth to she stopped resembling the rabbit. Okay, she had this strong voice, and the leader girl, who also has some solo performances. She has the strong voice, and the third girl who was quite beautiful, and she had strong voice as well, but she hadn't much lines during the songs, and she performed quite strongly, but she has quite a few lines, and usually she had short hair like the boys' haircut, and in some TV, in some movie clips, she performed as the boy for this band. Yeah, so this she had yeah, she had a strong voice, and she had a nice face, and she had beautiful figure. And I learned later then in 2019 she had this injury. Her the disc in her neck slipped, I think, during some movements when she I don't know, made some movements with her head, because in many K-pop girls performances, the girls move their heads very quickly, and it's natural. So I asked myself lots of times how they didn't have any injuries with these movements, and this was the question. It turned out that some of them had these injuries, and this particular girl had this injury, and she started to get hormones to cure her neck, and these hormones made her to get additional weight. She became, I think, 3 or 4 times bigger and heavier than she was in her normal state, and the fans started to hate her, because they thought that she was just fat and she couldn't stop eating and other stuff, because Koreans doesn't like the Koreans do not like fat people, especially fat people performing on the stage. And the Americans do not like fat performance either, but there is tendency that there are some these kind of fat singers on the stage, and usually it's the kind of tolerance towards the appearance of the person, not just to the beauty, but to the voice with which they can sing the songs. Yeah. In Korea, this tolerance is at quite a low level, so this girl was the target for the haters all the time since 2019, and she went on two, I think, hiatus because of the anxiety and this stress because of her health issues and these haters reactions. And she went on some diets, and she returned to the state which is the closest to her initial state. Like, her legs became quite slim, and her arms and her face, but her body couldn't return back to the slim state yet. Maybe at some point later she will return, or maybe she will always stay in this state, like not being slim anymore. And at some point she get her confidence back. She started to perform on the concerts with other girls, and the, I don't know, designers created special dresses for her to be like, the dresses hid her these features of her figure, of her body, but they showed her legs that were quite slim and other stuff. And she continues to be the ninth member of this Twice band, and they gave some of the world tour, maybe the second world tour or something like that. For the whole year they performed in America, in Europe and Asia, and she was the part of Twice. She traveled with them and she performed on the stage. So yeah, this is very interesting fate, like being initially being a beautiful girl, and then moved initially being, and then move to moving to the state of being fat, not because of her her actions, but because of her health and other stuff, and then being hated by the fans, and overcome her this anxiety and nervousness, and return back to the performance, because her voice remained the same. She moves quite the same as the other girls, and she is the good friend of the leader girl with the strong voice. And yeah, they are like family to each other. And this with the slipped disc in her neck girl, in her neck, she has a very loving family, and this family supports her all the time, and the family supported her through this stage of hatred. So she was lucky, because there are some accidents, some incidents with K-pop boys idols, who are boys or girls, and who are beautiful, who were beautiful, who had the perfect health, and they were successful in their careers, but they were hated by the audience for some reason, or they just had some anxiety problems, and they killed themselves, committing suicide. But this particular girl, with the support of her family, with the support of her friends, and having this strong mental core inside, she overcame all these troubles, and she accepted her the way she became, and now she continues to perform as the member of Twice, and we wish her success in in her career for the next 7 years of their contract with this agency, when they will continue to perform as the members of Twice. So these two topics, about some facts about about T-ara, K-pop girls band, and Twice, K-pop girls band. These two small talks were the topics for my today English session. So that's all for today.